Now, the use of a truck alone as a weapon of terror is not a new idea.
In fact, here in Minnesota, this concern has already been raised about one particular terror suspect who's on a terror watch list. Tom Lydon of the Fox 9 investigators broke that story. Tom, nothing really stopping anyone from getting a commercial driver's license, right?
It's really ironic, isn't it? I mean, you can be banned from flying on a commercial jet, but nothing's stopping you from driving a semi-truck. It's pretty interesting. After the Orlando attacks, people were shocked to discover someone on a terror watch list can legally purchase firearms. Well, they are also allowed to get a Class A commercial driver's license, allowing them to drive a 40-ton truck. In that latter category, a Minnesota terror suspect who's been linked to Al-Shabaab, as well as the ISIS recruits.
What happened in Nice, the use of a truck for mass killing, while horrific, is hardly a surprise to those who closely follow terror tactics.
Al-Qaeda has been calling for this type of attack now for some time.
Former Ramsey County Sheriff Bob Fletcher runs a terrorism think tank and has studied more than 100 jihadists. He pointed us to Al-Qaeda's own online magazine, Inspire, and this feature 6 years ago, how to turn a truck into the ultimate mowing machine. It says, quote, the idea is to use a pickup truck as a mowing machine, not to mow grass, but mow down the enemies of Allah. In fact, if you can get through to pedestrian-only locations that exist in some downtown areas, that would be fabulous, it says. It also mentions targets in the U.S., the south of France, even the Bastille Day military parade.
Things have evolved to where they want to kill as many people as possible.
It's all about the body count.
It is about the body count.
And Fletcher worries it could happen here. A year ago, the Fox 9 investigators told you about this man, Amir Mashal, who is on the no-fly list because, according to Homeland Security, he's an individual who represents a threat of engaging in or conducting a violent act of terrorism, and who is operationally capable of doing so. And yet, as the Fox 9 investigators revealed, last year Mashal was able to get his Class A commercial driver's license, allowing him to drive semi-trucks, tankers, even school buses. The state workforce program even paid for his training.
If there was an attack here in America with a truck, people are going to second guess, how did that person get access to the truck? How did they get a license to drive a semi? And that's the case here with Amir Mashal.
During the recent terror trial in Minnesota, some of the defendants testified that Amir Mashal, who was a religious mentor to some of the men, was so radical, so extreme in his views, they figured he must be an FBI informant. Guys, the FBI had no comment on this story tonight, and we also reached out to Amir Mashal's attorney with the ACLU and never heard back from her either.
You know, so you're talking about the laws here. Any talk of changing the law where somebody on the no-fly list actually can't get the commercial driver's license? I mean, it seems kind of obvious.
It's a good question. You know, a year ago we reached out to the governor's office, did so again today. Governor's office says they're concerned about this issue. They see what we see. It takes someone in the legislature to say we need to change that, make that an exemption. It's unclear if you may even be able to do that at the state level. You may have to do that at the federal level.
Yeah. Another interesting question here is, you know, Al-Qaeda has been talking about this for years. Yeah. Nothing has happened. What's taken so long?
You know, they put all these, and it's not just Al-Qaeda, there are ISIS magazines and all sorts of terror magazines. They put these ideas out there, and they hope one day a lone wolf, like perhaps this man, comes along and adopts one of these ideas. You know, there's a saying among terror groups, you, meaning the West, you may have the clocks, but we have all the time.
There you go. Yeah.
It is creepy. Yeah.